Disasters announce themselves with noise, sirens, explosions, screaming headlines. But the most dangerous ones arrive quietly. They slip into the world as numbers, as patterns, as warnings buried inside documents no one wants to read. This is the story of a man who saw one of those disasters coming, and what happened when he tried to stop it. It began late at night, in a room that smelled faintly of warm electronics and stale coffee. The kind of place where time dissolves, where hours pass unnoticed because the work demands it. He had been staring at the same data set for weeks. At first it looked ordinary, routine fluctuations, nothing dramatic, nothing worth alarming anyone over, until one number refused to behave. It didn't spike, it didn't crash, it drifted, slowly, consistently, relentlessly. And once he saw it, he couldn't unsee it. He wasn't a celebrity scientist. He didn't command press conferences or advisory panels. He was a specialist, trained to notice long-term trends most people never think about. The slow stresses, the invisible pressures, the forces that don't break things all at once, but weaken them over time. The kinds of forces history only understands in hindsight. At first, he assumed the simplest explanation: a faulty sensor, a corrupted input, a mistake. So he did what professionals do. He checked everything, twice, then again. The anomaly remained, and slowly a pattern began to emerge. The data wasn't pointing to chaos, it was pointing to inevitability, a convergence of variables that, taken alone, meant very little. But together, when layered and aligned, told a story that was deeply unsettling. Not a sudden catastrophe, a slow-motion one, the kind that gives people time to look away. There's a moment researchers talk about in private, a moment when curiosity turns into dread, not panic, dread, because panic is loud. Panic demands action. Dread is quiet. It whispers. It tells you that if you're right, then someone somewhere has already failed. And if you speak up, you might become inconvenient. He took his findings to his supervisor, not dramatically, not emotionally, just evidence, calmly presented, charts, projections, confidence intervals. The response was polite, measured, concerned, but not alarmed. These models rely on assumptions, he was told. We need to be careful. Let's gather more data. And that sounded reasonable. So he waited. Weeks passed, then months. The pattern didn't soften, it sharpened. The margins narrowed. The timelines became clearer. What had once been theoretical now carried weight. Urgency. He escalated again. This time the room was different. There were more people, fewer questions about accuracy, more questions about implication. What would this mean if true? Who would have to respond? Who would be blamed? And hovering beneath the conversation, unspoken but understood, was the most dangerous question of all. What happens if this becomes public? Institutions don't fear being wrong. They fear being responsible. Psychologists call this diffusion of responsibility, when accountability spreads so thin that no one feels obligated to act. Everyone waits. Committees form, reviews are scheduled, language is softened, and time, precious time, slips away unnoticed. No one told him to stop. That's the part people misunderstand. Silencing rarely sounds like a command. Instead, it sounds like guidance. Let's reframe this. Let's avoid definitive wording. Let's not cause unnecessary concern. Concern, after all, is disruptive. He considered going public. But the mythology of whistleblowers leaves out the cost, the contracts, the lawsuits, the quiet professional exile. He had a family, a career built over decades, a life that depended on remaining employable. So he chose a middle path. He submitted his findings to an external review body, technically allowed, but culturally discouraged. That was the moment everything changed. Meetings stopped appearing on his calendar. Emails went unanswered. Access privileges quietly disappeared. No confrontation, no explanation, just absence. Eventually, he was told his role was being restructured, not terminated, just removed from relevance. His work absorbed, his name erased from later drafts, And officially, nothing was wrong. Years passed. The world moved on. The warning, once urgent, became archival. And for a while, even he wondered if he'd been wrong. Small failures, isolated incidents, easily dismissed as coincidence. Then patterns began forming, exactly where the model said they would. Experts would later explain that systems don't collapse all at once. They shed layers. They degrade quietly. They normalize dysfunction. Until one day, what was once unthinkable becomes unavoidable. When the disaster finally unfolded, the headlines called it shocking.